Hello friends, and welcome back to another tier list video. So, first of all, this is my second attempt at recording this because my mic was facing the wrong way, so I got up to Bardock, so I didn't get too crazy far on the list. But, this is a tier list about the next balance patch, which, as of yet, we don't even know if there's going to be another balance patch. But, I was going to save this for that, but we don't know what's going to happen, and I thought this would just be fun to do now, and then maybe I could come back to this video later and see how close I was with certain characters. So yeah. Our categories: big buffs is going to be overall buffs to the character. Bit of buffs will be like certain moves or like scaling, getting just touched up a little bit. Good as is, self-explanatory, the character's good as is. Slight nerfs, basically the opposite of bit of buffs. A certain move or technique or property is going to be turned down a bit. And then big nerfs is just kind of, more than three things that should be changed, or just overall something should be fixed. Or in my opinion, at least. So let's start off with the big boy. Android 16 is going to treat himself to a bit of buffs. The former number one, they basically like punched him down, and I think he could get like a few tweaks. I think people still kind of consider this character good, and I've seen some good Android 16s, but they mostly just rely on cheese. I think, I think if they split the difference, because his like charging grab where like he moved at you, that distance got turned down, I believe. I think if they could split the difference between what it originally was and what it is now, just a little bit more distance, I think that'd be good. Because like the way he works is he has a forward rushing grab and then a jumping grab. And the whole thing is you gotta like predict which one he's gonna use. So this would like set him up nicely, because if every time they like go for a grab, you jump, it's like, okay, next time I'm gonna use the jumping grab. I think that'd be like, if that's your only option to get out of the lunging grab. So yeah, I think he could treat himself to just a bit of buffs, Android 17, he is good as is. This was one of those characters that was released and was kind of bad, but then they fixed him up. He's so cool now. Rightfully deserved. And now I think he's just set. I don't think really much more needs to be done with him. I'm trying to like think if there's anything. No, not really. He's just good. He's a good boy, especially since they gave the Axle Driver anti-air properties in the last patch. I think that really worked wonders for him. Is my audio looking good? It sure is. All right, so we go on to Android 18, who's going to get a bit of buffs. The main thing I have in mind is the medium Android 17 call, because like one of her optimal combos is the J2H, and instead of super dashing, she calls the medium version of Android 17, which I believe is back quarter circle medium, who like holds the opponent in the sky for a second with a 3-hit combo, and then 18 super dashes up. But it's weird because sometimes, even with the exact same timing, Android 18 just kind of like uses her double jump, and then the character and then she super dashes after them, like towards the ground, because 17 last hit of 17 combo smacks him down. And I've been trying to learn her, and I feel like that's just like a weird bug that happens, like just fake inputs happening. So I think I've seen like better Android 18s. I'll just say good Android 18 players dropping it, and I think that's just like a bug that needs to be fixed, where you're just pressing super dash and she's just kind of like jumping. So yeah, Android 21, good as is. Her steals are good, her combos are good, her range is good. Like everything about this character is good. But that's kind of just how it works. She's just well-rounded in a lot of cool ways, but she's also complicated enough that it's like difficult to get the most out of her. So she doesn't really need to be touched up at all. Yeah, I'm like trying to think, like my brain went to, she doesn't have a barrier without the steal from the androids. And she's got that down input, but I think that would make her too good. I think then I would like move her to the Nerf category. I think she's just set the way she is. Way to go, 21. Bardock. Bardock's also good as is, right? Yeah, in the last patch, he got a cool buff where he can just choose between like side switching and his level 3, and I think that's a pretty nice change. I think that's like got some good utility to it. And I don't think really needs that much more to be considered really good. I think he's already really good, actually. He's simple, he's effective, he's Bardock. All right. Beerus. Beerus. I don't see a whole lot of Beerus. You know what? Bit of buffs. So for those of you who aren't aware, Beerus's combos, like the good ones, rely on a kind of bounce property, but not all the characters bounce. Like, obviously there's some combos in the game that won't work on Krillin and GT Goku because they're smaller, but there's just like some random characters that don't bounce for Beerus's combos. So I think if they buffed him, or maybe nerfed the rest of the cast around him, because I guess, yeah, because Beerus would need to bounce too if there were a Beerus mirror match, I think every character should bounce. So this is technically a placeholder for change everybody else, including Beerus, but this would still be a buff for Beerus. Like how the 2H buff was a nerf to UI Goku. So yeah. Is my hand kind of cracking? Yeah, kind of. Okay. Super Broly. Not nerfs, not nerfs. I don't know. I feel like he's pretty good. This is tough. This is actually tough. We're actually like getting to one of the like first characters I play more often than not. I mean, I guess not more often than not, but you know what I'm trying to say. Huh. I feel like he's good as is. Yeah, I've heard some people say like his damage boost could be a little better, or but I mean like if you have him in Limit Break with level 3 sparking, it's gonna get crazy good. And his combos are decently long already. And he's got like one of the only good follow-ups off of a Dragon Rush in the game. So it's just kind of like, at what point does it become ridiculous? Actually, you know what? Bit of buffs. Because of his 236S, you know, there's like a meterless version where you dash up and grab them, and that's like really tricky. I think if they made that a bit easier, he'd be perfect. Oh boy, here comes the big one. Z Broly, which one's gonna get it? Let's see. What move specifically am I thinking of? His light command grab, his light lariat, and his blaster shell. Big nerfs for Broly. Big nerfs for the big boy. So, there's a YouTuber out there named Moldy Bagel. He's very intelligent with this game. He goes into frame data, he talks about why certain things haven't changed, and I'll probably link him in the description. Although if you watch me, I imagine you gotta watch him. He's great, got a great editing style, and he actually just put out a video on Broly. This one specifically. And how he's like just kind of risen to be the best character in the game. Whoo boy. So, for those of you who aren't aware of this menace, he's basically the best. Can I make that go away? I cannot. The best grappler and the best zoner in the game, which already makes him unbalanced. His light command grab is unreactable in an online environment, and I mean literally unreactable. Not like oh it sucks. Like actually, like there's no human way you could react to that. Like I think I've dodged it in the past, not in reaction because I left. I also just realized the link to this says with Super Baby 2, and then Gogeta and Labcode are here, so like they just didn't change the hyperlink. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, Z Broly I think needs some big changes. The fact that his force field is immune to all assists, like even physical ones. The fact that his like he can combo off everything. The fact that his light lariat gets 10 hits of super armor and it also doesn't pause the animation. The fact that all of his moves have super armor, he needs to be nerfed. It's annoying, it isn't fun to deal with, and the fact that anyone who comes across a Broly player, even Broly players, kind of go, ah, damn it. Captain Ginyu, he's good as is, I think. I don't really know much about like the Ginyu player consensus, but whenever I'm like kind of matched with him in some regard, I really have fun. I think maybe the only thing I could think of would be like a little icon by his meter on the bottom of the screen just to let you know like which Ginyu Force member is coming out next. Like a status screen or whatever. Just a little thing just to say like with a Goldo's face, and then when you use him, it changes to the next one. That's like the only thing I could think of. But that's so like niche that I feel like I gotta put him as good as in good as is. I think Ginyu's straightforward. I think he's fun. The body change, if that were unblockable, he would definitely be a nerf, but you can block it, so it's just kind of like, at what point will you stop mashing? So I think Ginyu's good. I think it's also really funny to watch like a Ginyu player go up against someone like Z Broly and UI Goku, because then they have to deal with it themselves. So yeah, Ginyu is pretty good. I like Ginyu in this game. I just want an alternate costume with the Scouter. That's gonna be my biggest complaint in this game, I think, is a lack of costumes. I don't know if I ever mentioned this, but when this game first came out, I was like, certain characters just look so weird, and I just couldn't get past it. And it definitely came to a head when Base Vegeta was announced. And I was like, okay, which characters do I think look weird? It's like the Ginyus, Nappa, and Base Vegeta. Oh, they don't have Scouters. It's so weird to me that they just never put Scouters on these guys. Especially Nappa, the one who's most iconically associated, wherever Nappa may be. There he is. They didn't put a Scouter on him because he's like, you know, he's so associated with it's over 9,000. Vegeta said it, but Nappa was asking about power levels. I don't know. Cell? Cell's good as is, I think. I'm just trying to think, like... Yeah, I think Cell's good as is. He's definitely, much like Ginyu, one of those characters that it's really hard to get the most out of him. But I think Cell's, like, pretty good for what he is. I think his combos are stylish, and like I said, it takes a lot to get the most out of him. I'm just like really racking my brain. I don't fight a lot of Cell players, but the ones I do fight are all really good, so I guess that says something. Yeah, that's just it, huh? Cell's just good as is. Cooler? Some slight nerfs for Cooler. That 3H, his neutral button, it's annoying. Cooler players all praise it as the God button, but at the end of the day, you're just mashing. And it's obnoxious. That's just about it, really. Frieza, I think Frieza could use a bit of buffs. Is it a bit of buff or big buff for Frieza? I don't really know. I'll put you right here, but talk it out. So, same guy, Moldy Bagel, does a video on Frieza. And the whole problem with Frieza is that any buff he's received over the years has been to Golden Frieza. Like speed, how the timer works. First it was the timer's like kind of paused and sparking, and now it's you basically get infinite Golden Frieza when you tag out. But Frieza in his base form, it's kind of bad. He doesn't have great damage. He doesn't have a whole lot of options. Like every time you see me go up against the Frieza, they're always mashing projectiles because they can't really interact in the close quarters. I mean, once they get a hit, they can certainly move in, but yeah, he's got like his teleporty reversal move, but it doesn't actually hit an opponent at close range. And it's only really, I think it's only really useful in the golden form, much like everything in Frieza, you know, actually, much like everything in Frieza's arsenal. And and also Frieza in his base form can do like a cross-up medium, so he can like jump to the other side, hit you with his tail. But it doesn't work in his golden form because he's too fast. So like Frieza just needs to like get fixed just a little bit. He's almost there. Almost. Go Cheetah Blue. What is there to say about this guy? You know what? Just to be weird, I think I put Gogeta in like the lowest tier on my last video, so you might like my last tier list video, so you might expect me to put him here, but actually he actually needs one buff that kind of bothers me. the fact that his command grab, his 214S, you know, the one where like he gets that rainbowy aura around himself and he shoots it forward and then appears behind you, and every Gogeta player wants to use it at some point. That doesn't work on block after his standing Ki Blast. I don't know if it's a glitch or it's intended, but it's just really weird and confusing. And it's just like every time, like I don't even, it might even count as a mix, it might even count as like a mix-up tool at this point, where you intentionally 5S into your command grab so your opponent thinks they've been caught, or they just get confused on why they didn't. But it's so weird, and it's the only time in the game where there's like a moment where your command grab doesn't work because you used something before it. I think it's a glitch, and I'm surprised no one's talked about it. Maybe because like people didn't really realize it for a bit, or maybe it was an accident from the last patch. I don't know, but it does need to get fixed because it's so annoying to like see him going for the command grab, but it's like, and you're like, why didn't I get hit? And then you get hit because it's a Gogeta player and they're mashing. Foo boy. I like how the last few picks have like evened out the list. I also like how the random order has put Esperoli and Gogeta next to each other. That's funny. All right, Gohan. Gohan's good as is. You know, he's got his level ups, which were obviously put in place to contend with Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. He's got his two air dashes. He's got cool stuff. He's always kind of been like one of the better ones. I just feel like he's like the worst top tier, I think, just because he lacks gimmicks, although now he probably is better. Yeah, Gohan's just good as is. This Gohan, however, it's funny how these two like kind of have a lot in common, but this one, he's going into big Nerf category. So this Gohan will just swing on you. It's obnoxious. Like how many ways he can catch you. He's got his auto combo that go as high as a super jump. He's got crazy moves. He's got damage for days. He's got brain dead mix. Just yeah, nerf the child. Goku Black. Where should you go? You don't need any you don't need any buffs really. It's kind of like Ginyu, where the only buff I can think of is like a slight thing, like a very slight thing, and it's just making his EX kick plus on block. So I'm willing to put you as in good as is. Yeah, I'm willing to say that. Like I was just saying, plus on block basically means like if a move is blocked, if Goku Black is attacking, say, adult Gohan here, and I use the EX kick and Gohan blocks it, Gohan will recover from that first. So he can attack me. And I think I'm able to block in time, but I'm not able to counterattack in time. But if it were plus on block, I would hit him and he would be stuck in block stun, so I could either keep up my offensive or just hit him if he tries to mash. I think that's the only thing, and only really the EX one needs it. Like the other two, you know, my god, my voice is cracking so much. I don't know why. The other two, the light one is fast, the medium one is good for corner combos and has good scaling. So I think if you make the EX one plus on block, it would like keep them all having their unique properties. Yeah, I think that's fair. GT Goku? I'm going to take a swig of water and think about this one critically. GT Goku, I think... I don't know. I mean, I just haven't seen any GT Gokus in a while. Like, I am the GT Goku I've been seeing. So what do I think he needs? It kind of goes along with the S. Broly stuff I was saying, where I was like, just want like certain things kind of need to be easier, or I just would like them to be, I guess. But he's still really good. Yeah, I'm gonna put him here. So the one I'm talking about is his like reverse Kamehameha, where he shoots himself off in different directions. But I'm pretty sure I'm just bad with it. I think it's plenty consistent. I just know there's like a weird shortcut where instead of doing the input every time and then a direction, you like do the direction and then S or something. But it's just kind of like, I know it's a me thing. I think GT Goku is still really good. He just has been nerfed. He's not the best anymore. Yeah, I think GT Goku's good there. He's good as is. He doesn't need to be touched up too much anymore. Blue Goku. Goku Blue. Where would I put you? I think you're good as is. No, slight nerf. I think the only thing I can think of though is that the last hit of his auto combo, that overhead one, with how much like time it takes on startup, it should take more like it should have more recovery on block and on whiff. I think watching him use this big sweeping free mixing overhead move and then immediately getting the punch again is kind of obnoxious. I think that's the only thing though. It's like everything else about him is pretty fair. It's like he has his instant transmission move, and it's unlike Goku Black's, it's actually hard to tell which way he'll be coming from, but he's always in the air, so you can just 2H, and it doesn't matter which direction he's coming from, he's gonna get hit. So yeah, I think that's the only thing though, just that a little more recovery on a blocked or whiffed auto combo, especially because it's mid, low, high. Like you have to block mid, like you block standing and then block low and then block standing again. It's just like it's such a free mix that I think it should be toned down a bit, and that's the fairest way to do it, I think, is just a little bit more end lag. Yeah, I think that's good. Super Goku, Super Saiyan Goku. I don't really know what to buff about you, but I know you need a little bit of help. So I'm willing to say this is probably Goku's most iconic design at this point. And yeah, I think he needs a little help. He's definitely the weakest of the Gokus. That's even including Goku Black at this point. Because, like, the only utility he has that others don't is the aerial angle. Oh my god! The aerial angled Kamehameha, which I think no other character has. Well, I mean, Cell and GT Goku have a Kamehameha that they can angle in the air, but Goku can actually choose. I think you can even choose 3 directions in the air. So I think he still needs a little bit of help. He's got like more utility than other characters that are considered maybe better than him, but that that doesn't make a good character. Not yet. I think it's kind of weird because like his level 3, the big Super Saiyan 3 thing, it's like the big damaging move, but it side switches, like you don't keep corner. And then the um one that keeps corner is the less damaging one. I think that should be flipped. Or maybe just have them like Bardock's, where you keep corner, or like you can choose, but since that determines which way the attack will come from, maybe just have it be the Super Saiyan one. I don't know. I just feel like it's a weird, because the way they want level 3s to work in this game is that you use them to finish off the opponent, basically. But they're not used for that. They're used to get knocked down, they're used to stall sparking, they're used to maybe try and force a switch, something like that. Like, they're not always used to finish the opponent or the game for that matter. And Goku was designed around their way of thinking about it. That the level 3 is like this sacred thing, but people mash it to get out of block strings now. So it's just like the main way a move is used is not compatible with this character, basically. So I think that change, and maybe a few other things that I'm just not aware of because I'm not an avid Super Saiyan Goku player, I think that would do well for him. Yeah. UI Goku. Oh man. I'm willing to say this is the best Goku right now. Where do I want to put you? Certainly not here. Not here either. Hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and say slight nerf. um, so the main thing I'm thinking of is the first hit of his jab or his auto combo, that 5L, the cursed 5L. It's a punch. If you've seen it, it's a gut punch basically. It's a gut check, and it can stop people from above and behind you. It's wonky. We'll go with wonky, sure. I'm sure there may be other things you could think of with UI Goku, but like at some point he's a character built around defense, as Multi Bagel puts it. I gotta remember to put his name in the description in this link. But anyway, he's built around defense, which makes sense because Ultra Instinct is. And at some point, if you keep taking away his defensive options, he's just a flashy character with half a like list of moves that don't get used. So when it comes down to it, you gotta like keep that in mind. But also like the first hit of his 5L, and also what was one I was just thinking of? Oh my god, what's it called? The flip? Oh yeah, the flip's annoying. What was I specifically thinking of? Was it his like, what was it called? Embodied light? Oh yeah, I think the hit stun on that move should be turned down. His 214H, one with like the three little lights, and they go pew pew pew, and they just can walk towards you and do stuff. That's obnoxious. He doesn't need that. If that were on like Beerus, like if he had a stunning move, that'd be fine because he doesn't have all the tools to like make that seem OP. It's like other characters that would work on this move that like you can basically control how you start the combo now. I mean, I guess that still counts as the starter, but you know what I'm trying to say. It's like the fact this man can read a book and then do half your health bar worth of damage is obnoxious. Like other characters could use that and it would be seen as more fair. But the fact that he's UI Goku and has every other tool available and then also that move, it's yeah. But it still counts as slight nerfs because it's just two things I want to change. Base Goku, yeah, I'll put you here. I think that's fair. The only thing I can really think of with him to tone down would be his damage, because it used to be a little tricky with him, but now he's got his J2M, you know, like down kick move, which you can end any combo with and get sliding, and then basically a free level 1. So I think now his damage is like consistently a lot bigger, but that's really it. And even then, people barely ever play base Goku to actually play him. They play him to get meter and then try and Spirit Bomb you. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm just okay with that placement. Gotenks. Gotenks is also good as is. The only thing I can think of for him that I wouldn't even change, but I think the developers might go for because they've kind of been punching down at Gotenks recently, was they make his not Miracle Super Punch. I guess maybe that too. But it's like, you know, his spin kick. If they made that count as an aerial and you could 2H it, that's like the only thing I can really think they'd like go for. That's really it too. I think Gotenks is pretty good. Hit. Give the man a bit of buffs. His ground counter is bad. He was the only character with a counter when the game first started, not counting DPs. Like actually, you hit him and he deals damage to you. But now other characters have them, and they're all way better. And the ground version, like he like feints getting hit, and he like reappears and punches you. And that's all well and good, but it doesn't work a lot of the time. And his aerial counter is basically a free empty vanish. I think if they gave him that on the ground, like even if he was like slightly in the air, so you can maybe 2H it on reaction, but he could still block in time. I don't know. It just kind of, it kind of is like the only bad thing in his roster, or his repertoire rather. where, I think if he gave him like a free empty vanish for predicting a mash, I think that'd be all well and good. Janemba? Janemba. Should I say slight nerves? Huh. This one's actually kind of tricky. I wasn't even thinking about Janemba. The only thing I can really think of is the last hit of his auto combo. How it seems to kind of be slow enough that you can just do it to you. Yeah, I'll say that. The last hit of his auto combo, it basically is just a free mix-up. And it's like really obnoxious to avoid. Although maybe it's just a me thing too. I'm just thinking, oh, you know what? I'll put him here. I think that's kind of a me thing too. Like I could just get out of the way. This is the part where I discover I'm just bad at the game. Yeah, I think Janemba's good. He just has that one thing. Jiren, however, gave this man a bit of buffs. So again, very coincidental matchup right here. But Jiren got sizably nerfed in the last patch. Jiren has two different counter moves. He has his physical counter, and then he has his special counter. But originally it was just kind of projectiles, and then maybe if you hit his hand, like the special one. But then they changed it, so any hit does it, and that includes command grabs and dragon rushes. And then in the next patch, the most recent patch, they reverted it. Like it's still good against all that other stuff, but command grabs and dragon rushes, it don't work no more. And also, if you can 2H him out of it, I think a good trade would be to give him back the ability to counter command grabs and dragon rushes, but it's on his EX counter. That way you have to spend a resource, half a bar, to counter it. But what's even better about that is that with the special grab, or with the special counter, it takes a while. Like it's a pretty slow counter. So like, if you both put in the button at the same time, he'd have the counter out in time, because command grabs are slow. But if you gave it to his fast counter, then you actually have to like time it out. Because if you both did the button at the same time, there's a good chance the command grab will be coming out as Jiren's putting his hand down. I think that's fair. I think that's cool. And yeah, do that, please. I miss being obnoxious with this character. I mean, maybe I'll still probably play him. Also, make it a little easier to get the second jump in his combo, because he doesn't have a traditional J2H to like hit people up. And that first punch has so little range. Like with Broly, it's like this big sweeping motion to like catch on the second jump. But with Jiren, it's like nothing. Yeah, those are my things. Kefla? Kefla's kind of been stagnant, but she started out good. The only thing I can really think of is some utility for her. Let me test this power out move. You know, that like speedy thing. Like maybe if you hit heavy, like the dust cloud will come in and hurt your opponent or something. Like she'll like leave a shockwave or something. I don't know. But that's really it. It's like such a crazy good mix tool. Like even if you're going up against a brain dead person, you'll just see them walking, and it's like, all right, I guess I'm punching you now. See, especially with an assist behind you. So I think Kefla's pretty good. She's simple, but she's like effective. Also, why does she look like she's in a different art style? It's like all these are from the character artist, and then this one's from like the character select screen, where it's like far away, and they screen capped it and then cropped out everything else. Why is she not the same caliber as everybody else? Kid Buu. Kid Buu gets nerfed every patch, and then turns out to be a buff. So I'm just gonna say he's good as is. Just leave him alone. You've made him too strong. Stop praying for Kid Buu. He's too powerful. I tried learning him for a bit, and it actually is kind of hard to get like the best out of him as well. Which is why Maldy Bagel again talks about how it's like really hard to nerf him, because he doesn't do one thing obscenely well. He does everything really well. Kind of like this guy here. But it's more interesting with Kid Buu, because it does take some level of practice, I guess. So yeah, he's just good. Krillin? Krillin's pretty good. Yeah, I like Krillin. There's not much to say about him. They made his corner combo a little harder because he his key blasts are too fast now. But that's about it. I think he's fine. Majin Buu. Majin Buu. Um, I don't see a lot of you, but from what I've seen, you're pretty fine. That one's just easy. Master Roshi. I'm tempted to put you here, and I'm gonna explain why. He is a good character, but he's very difficult for people to approach. Like, you never see him, and when you see him, you're terrified because they're probably good. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what you could do with him, but I just kind of feel like out of every character in the game, he's the one that, after being released, people like played him for 3 days and they just dusted off their hands and put him away. It's like no one has stuck with this character, I feel like. And there's like the one game he's been featured in the last like 20 years. So, maybe help him out. I don't know what you could do. Like, I don't know if there's like if you could do like simple Roshi mode. But yeah, I mean, if you put in the time, obviously he's a good character. But I don't know. I just feel like something about him seems unapproachable. So maybe that's like something that could be done to change that. Nappa. Nappa. I'm tempted to put you here. And I'm going to. I think the Cybermen need a little tweaking. I think they like kept meaning, like the way I see it, they were like experimenting with how to make the Cybermen good, and they kept intending to like change their properties out. So like in this patch, you can program them in. In this patch, they're immune to assists and projectiles. But then they put them together on accident. I think if they took away their invincibility to assists, they can be projectile invulnerable. Also, maybe they shouldn't attack while Nappa's taking damage or in a block string. Actually, in a block string is probably fine. But just the fact that you can be like comboing Nappa, and then the Cyberman will hit you, and then being a Nappa player, they'll just mash. I think it's a little much. Piccolo's good as is. Piccolo's like a character like Base Goku, where he started out good, and then they just kept giving him more stuff. I think he's fine now, though. I think he's got a lot going for him. Oh my god, my voice. I think he's got a lot going for him. Yeah, that's just it. Piccolo's good. Super Baby 2? Does he need nerfs? No, I don't think he needs nerfs. I think he's fine. Like, baby players are some of the spammiest ones. But you can certainly get around that. Only thing I can really think of is like making the loops easier, but his are actually not that hard to begin with. I think a buff to baby would just be a buff to the game, and that's just rollback netcode. Like, the loops are easy once you like get the hang of them. Maybe just making his I don't know. I play baby a decent amount, but I think not on the channel, but just in general. I want to bring him back. I'm just scared. But I think he's pretty good. I don't think he needs much more tweaking. Yeah, I'm willing to say that. I bet if they really wanted to, they could make it so if you don't combo into his level 3, he won't do the Gallic Gun version. That'd be a funny nerf. Like I bet people would complain too. I want to see who would complain about that, where you don't get the empowered level 3 with baby if you do it raw. That would be so funny. That's, for the meme. I think it's the only thing. That'd be such a funny thing. Because that, like, nukes your health bar. You lose half your health. Like, more so. Because it's just so damn strong. So yeah, you get the weaker version if you do it raw. Tenshinhan, all I think of is his damage, like nerfing that, but that's kind of all he has. Yeah, I'm willing to put Tien as good in good as is. I think Tien's good. I think he's stylish. Only thing I really think of is his damage and maybe the super armor on his command grab. That's a little ridiculous, but I don't know. I think Tien's fine. Taranksu? Give the man some big buffs. I have been playing Trunks for a while now. And let me tell you, I'm starting to see the complaints. His Change the Future needs more hits done. It also needs to be a bit more consistent on when you're holding it and when you're not, but that might just be a me thing. Um, his Shining Slash needs to be more plus because characters like UI Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, the most common people you'll see ever, can just mash out of it no matter how plus you are. Um, I think, let's see, what else could you give this character? Trunks is decent at certain levels because of the fact that he's like counter mash, like you just style on them. But also his level 1 and level 2, like you get the most out of his level 2 by missing the level 1. Like UI Goku has a level 2 where he uses the Kamehameha and then he jumps off of a wall and punches you, and that does a pretty healthy chunk of damage. With Trunks, his level 1 and his level 2 do good damage separately, but when you put them together, they do less than both of them, I'm pretty sure. Maybe more, like slightly more than one of them. And I'm not saying like it should add on because that would basically be a level 3's worth of damage, but it's just so ridiculous how the optimal strategy with Trunks is to miss a move. Which is canon, I guess, because he missed the level 1 also on Frieza, coincidentally enough. Um, but it's like Trunks is one of those characters that started good and then everyone got buffed around him. He just needs a little bit more. Maybe an additional flip in the air or something. It's just I think he should be like a real risk reward character where you can keep flipping as long as you have meter, but eventually the hit stun's gonna wear off and they're gonna drop out of your combo. That'd be so stupid. He would be a monster. Or maybe give his 5S more priority. Like if you make it like UI Goku and Gogeta's, where you can't super dash through it because of how like dense it looks. He just needs like a new tool or a change that'll just make him mid tier at least. He's like the worst of the like second to last tier. Yeah, I think that's I think that's fair. All right, Vegeta Blue. He's good as is. I think he's simple. He's got a lot of cool stuff. Only thing I can really think of is a good way to super dash post vanish. Like maybe the Big Bang attack. Like if you can do 2M, 5M, Big Bang attack, and then super dash. But that's just kind of ridiculous. He does great damage. He has simple but intriguing looking combos. They fixed his command grab. Maybe like do kind of like Jiren, where the EX one has a unique property wherein it can get a crouching opponent, but that's really it. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah, I think he's just good. Super Saiyan Vegeta, my man needs some help. He's gone from one of the better characters in the game to one of the worst. And again, it's one of those cases where everyone's gotten buffed around him. He just needs some help. I mean, being one of the most popular characters, you'd think, like, funny how both the Super Saiyans are here. I think I already said that. I'm just looking at it again. It's like, wow. But Super Saiyan Vegeta just needs like one or two things. Maybe be quicker. Maybe fix that dive kick input that I think I've seen everyone complain about that plays him, where it's like you're doing a combo and then you do a dive kick and then it's over. Like make that dive kick do something, or just remove it. Or hey, if you're good at it, put an option. Like he just needs help. It's like all these guys have broken legs and we're sending them to Arxis to like get them patched up. Vegeta here has a broken spirit and needs therapy. He needs different help than these guys need. It's just help the boy. All right. Base Vegeta, he's fine. He's good as is. I can see them feasibly nerfing him, but I don't think they would. The only thing I really think of that he could use is maybe revert the last patch, because if you whiff his EX kick, the side switch one, it has more frames of delay. But overall, I think he's fine. Like I'm just thinking like, is there anything he could use? Maybe like Blue Vegeta, if he could super dash off his J2S. Like I've seen that combo. I've done it once or twice, where like instead of going right into like that knee drop, you do the key blast upward and then do it. If he could super dash off that, because it looks like he should be able to. If he could do that, I think that would make him perfect. But I think he's fine as is. Vegito, give the boy some nerfs. Vegito is too simple to be that good. I'ma just keep it real. I've made this joke before, but I was playing arcade mode just to do some practice, and a CPU Vegito was able to do a full combo and then vanish and then catch me with a 2M and then still finish the combo properly. He's annoying. He has like 4 reflect proof options now. He's got annoying counters. He's got damage for days. He's got a sliding 2M. Just nerf him. Change him. There's no reason for him to be good. I mean, there's a reason for him to be good, but there's no reason for him to be that good. There shouldn't be a perfect character in this game. Videl, I think she's good as is. That might be a bias, although I guess it'd be biased if I put her in nerfs. But I think Videl's like gotten fine. She was one of the worst, along with Frieza and Goku Black. But now she's fine. She's got good damage. I love the buff to the counter where it takes your opponent's meter, which gives me this weird feeling that they're testing the waters for Super 17 to get added to the game. But I digress. Oh my god, if Super 17 made it in the game before other characters like Raditz or Majin Vegeta or whatever, that would piss people off. Be funny though. I think Videl is fine. I think she's gotten better. She's got good tools combined with like some of the more random stuff she had before. She's all set. Yamcha, fix the boy. Yamcha's the most tragic case of other characters getting buffed around him. I think his most recent change, weirdly enough, in the new patch, he did get a buff where like he can squeeze out a little bit more damage from like certain combos. Like he can do more moves into each other. Like typically you had to keep people close to use his spinning move, his Gale Claws as they're called. But now you can like hit people away and it'll go to them. So it's like he got a good buff, but it doesn't change the fact that he just does not have things that other members of the cast excel at. And the things he is good at, like mixing or air mobility, other characters do much better. Yeah. So that's an issue. Fuse Zamasu, he got really good in the last patch, but I still think he needs one more thing that's bothered me always. His Lightning of Absolution goes away on block. He spends time and sometimes meter to like get that, and the fact that it goes away when you're blocking is annoying. Now, I do see why they do that, because it would be annoying if you're in a block string and you got shot. But I think they could just pause it. Like maybe after the certain time frame. Like if you're in a block string for a minute, you deserve to lose whatever you you were doing. But I think if they just like have it so it's still up, but like maybe it could counter stagger pressure, or maybe it would just be like just pause there until Zamasu starts a combo or at least gets a hit in, or just backdashes. I think that's the only thing. It's kind of like Gogeta, where I just want something changed that has no reason. Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, we're going to give this man some slight nerfs. Just slight. This one actually is like the most slight. I think the level 7, the instant kill, should be 5 bars. The fact that characters like Hit and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta have these really flashy moves that take up more bar than a move that is guaranteed to kill off any starter. It's a little unfair. So I think 5 bars is a fair price to pay, especially since his assist gives you meter. And maybe if you're feeling crazy, make it so his assist can't go as high in levels. Like, it can only go like instead of being able to go up to level 5, it can go up to like level 3, which puts Gogeta more at risk because he's going to be out. Or maybe, hey, that one thing that'd be interesting was like if there are 3 characters, like there are 2 assists, Gogeta can go up to level 3. But if you lose a character and then Gogeta's your only assist, then it can pop up to level 5. That would be something cool. And they can like change stuff like that because of these 2 right here. Also weird how they wound up next to each other. But anyway, I think that'd be an interesting nerf. It would make Gogeta players like pay a little more attention to the surroundings, and also puts Gogeta more at risk because once he's out on the field, he could basically just vanish twice and then you're dead. So yeah, I think make it cost more meter because he just gives you meter anyway. And then I actually just thought of that in the moment too. But you know, if you have 2 assists, he can only get you to level 3, and if you have 1 assist, he can get you up to level 5. And then when he's your last one, you get those last 2 levels yourself. I think that's fair. Android 21 Lab Coat Edition, you're gonna get some slight nerfs too. So for me, I think I even said this in the tier list of fun video, but I think her only real thing would be with the debuff, like level 1 grab. If you defeat her, the debuff goes away. I think it's weird that she can like put a curse on you and then the curse sticks around after she's dead. Like once she's knocked out, it should go away. That's really it too. I think it's a very interesting list. I like how Bit of Buffs was so popular. I thought it like all go up here basically. Was not I think this is the biggest surprise in this category. Like big nerfs, not surprising. Slight nerfs. I think these two, Nappa and Cooler, probably the big surprises. Good as is, kind of predictable. I think when I thought about this earlier, I was gonna put Gotenks in a nerf category, but as I like really thought critically, yeah, makes sense. I think it's a good looking list. I think where like my characters. Most of them are good as is, in my opinion. The only ones I really play that I think should be buffed are Broly and Trunks. You know, I don't want to be biased or anything. Like I think this guy is fine the way he is. If they nerf him, if they like give me a taste of freedom and then nerf him again, I'm going to cry. um, but yeah, I think that's a good list. I think this is a good template to go off of, Arxis. I'm just thinking, like, is there anything I really want to change at the last minute? No, not really. I think this is a good list. So, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you think this is a decent list, certain characters you would like to see changed in certain ways. If you even think there'll be more balance patches. And, yeah, that's about it for this. So, Metal Meister signing off. Bye, friends.